In 2018, I was on my mission. We all volunteers were watching the General Conference when President Russell M. Nelson announced having a temple in
Bengaluru, India.
I was not having words to express my joy after hearing this wonderful blessing for India having a temple. And I thought for a while, what if I am in India to see all the excitement and happiness on people's faces? Because in India, I have been watching people how they are preparing for the temple for a long time. Some have saved money for 10 years to visit the Hong Kong temple as it is the nearest one. But now, I'm sure when the temple will be ready, it is going to be so busy. In 2016, while I got my mission call letter to serve as a volunteer for the church, I was preparing to go to England Preston Temple, and I was very curious to know about what does a temple feels like, what happens in the temple, what do I need to do to feel the spirit in the temple, how can I recognize the love of God in the temple. I had a lot of questions and I asked all of them to Brother Frost, who had been helping me to prepare to visit the temple. In the process of learning, I observed that I need to prepare myself spiritually to feel the love of God. To prepare, I need to follow His commandments, read His scriptures, talk to Him through prayer, be humble, kind, honest, and look for ways to serve someone. When I did these things, I noticed that I improved in understanding Christ better, and my spiritual strength was increased. I have been blessed to attend many temples. Attending temples build my faith in Christ and builds my relationship with Him. I love this relationship because it helps me a lot to understand my relationship with my family and with my husband. In this process, I understood the importance of focusing on eternity, not on temporal happiness. This reminds me of President Russell M. Nelson's words of "Think celestial," and I felt it was so true. In 2022, when my husband and I were preparing to get married in the temple, we were having a big challenge here in Mexico because I laminated my birth certificate in New Delhi and also did not have a surname on my documents. Even my visa was going to expire in a month and the time was running so fast. And that was a big challenge for us because here in Mexico, the marriage registry office required my surname on my documents and my birth certificate without lamination. We were losing hope, and my husband and I visited the temple and asked for help in our prayers. That day we were traveling back home in our car, and sadly my husband put my birth certificate in front of the car. And when we arrived at home, my birth certificate had air inside because of the sunlight and the lamination was coming out. And my husband saw this and he spent, I think, around 3 to 4 hours in the night taking out the lamination, and he was able to take out the laminated plastic. And we were able to find a marriage registry office in Mexico City that accepted my documents without my surname, and they took my birth certificate as a record in their office, and we got married officially. And even we got a date for our sealing in the temple, and we are finally sealed in the temple. My husband and I understood the importance of faith and efforts. That's the reason President Nelson always says that Lord loves efforts. I am so grateful for having all these experiences which build my faith, and I understood that God is always with us and He is always there to help us. We just need to have faith in Him and everything will be all right. There are a lot of miracles and experiences in my life as I lived in the gospel. One thing I know to be true is that the gospel has been a blessings in my life. Even it is a blessings of every one of our lives too. It changes us in a beautiful ways. So I invite you to come unto Christ and enjoy the blessings and build strength to face any challenges in your life.